I bumped into a young Mia on the street. Even though I apologized, Mia wouldn't let go of my arm, leaving bloody marks with her nails. Do you know whose child this is in my belly? Mr. Walker's. I asked. Which Mr. Walker? Mia haughtily declared, of course, it's Riverton's richest man. My friend and I exchanged glances. Because Riverton's richest man, Mr. Walker, was my husband. One Ethan's child, does he know? Chloe defended me, scoffing at her. Mia, her eyes red, lunged at her. What do you mean by that? Are you saying the child in my belly isn't Ethan's? I stood between them, but I still couldn't calm down. As far as I know, isn't Ethan already married? Mia raised an eyebrow. Oh, you mean that barren hag? What does it matter if she's married? How could someone of Ethan's standing not have an heir? Chloe was furious. Do you even know who she is? She pointed at me, and Mia's gaze flicked over me. You're not going to tell me some ordinary old lady is a big shot, are you? Her mocking laughter hadn't stopped yet. The phone rang. Her expression sobered, and her tone changed. Hello, honey. She deliberately put it on speakerphone, and Chloe and I clearly heard the voice on the other end. The man gently hummed in response. How was your shopping today? The moment I heard that voice, I knew it was Ethan Walker, no doubt. Not only had he cheated, his mistress's baby was almost due. I almost lost my balance. If Chloe hadn't supported me, I might have fallen to the ground. Mia softly scoffed, her voice low. I was happy at first, but then I ran into two women who bumped into me. Ethan Walker's voice immediately became anxious. They bumped into you? Are you okay? Where are you? I'll come pick you up. He really cared about her, just as Mia had said. Mia looked at us triumphantly. I'm fine, my body's okay, but I'm upset. Ethan Walker sighed in relief on the other end, seemingly used to the young girl's spoiled nature. What about those two? Are they still there? Yes, I've stopped them from leaving. Put them on the phone. With Ethan Walker's backing, Mia's expression became even more arrogant, and her voice turned sweet and soft. My honey wants to talk to you. I numbly reached out to take it. Hello, I'm Ethan Walker. My girlfriend is pregnant, and her emotions might be unstable. Could you please be understanding with her? If she caused you any trouble, you can contact me for compensation. He was so considerate, as if she were Ethan Walker's legitimate wife. I took a deep breath. Ethan Walker, do you have anything to say to me? It was only then that Mia sensed something was off from my exhausted tone. She tried to take back the phone but was stopped by Chloe. It took Ethan Walker a second to realize I was the one on the phone. His voice became calm and flat, as if he hadn't done anything to wrong me. Give her back the phone first, we'll talk about the rest when I get home. He habitually gave me orders. But Chloe couldn't hold back anymore. She roared, Ethan Walker, are you a beast? When you started your business, Grace did everything for you. Her health suffered because she was helping you close deals. Now that her health has declined these past few years, you're just going to kick her out? Chloe wasn't holding back, and Mia looked extremely awkward, trying to run away, but Chloe grabbed her. And you little bitch, don't even think about running. Weren't you so smug just a moment ago? Why are you playing innocent now? Mia let out a sharp shriek. Honey, help me. Passers-by stopped, watching the spectacle, and some even pulled out their phones to record. Ethan Walker's voice was tinged with anger, suppressing panic. Let her go. His second sentence still held no trace of apology. I curled my lips, but my face felt a little sore. Ethan Walker, don't you need to explain anything to me? Ethan Walker seemed to have no interest in playing out this melodrama with me. He repeated himself, time enunciating each word. Let her go. My heart ached as if it had been struck by a wrecking ball. I took a deep breath. Chloe, let her go. But Chloe was so caught up in the satisfaction of catching him cheating for me that she didn't listen to a word I said. Little bitch, aren't you going to apologize? Just now, weren't you telling Grace to apologize to you? Why are you wilting now? She pinched Mia's ear. Mia wailed while protecting her belly. I won't do it again. Don't film me. Her eyes were red, and she let out broken sobs. From the other end of the phone, he slammed the table. Grace! You dare touch her. The sound startled Chloe. Chloe looked at me, perhaps seeing my pale face. Reluctantly, she let go. Ethan Walker, you're truly a heartless bastard. Once Mia broke free, she snatched the phone from my hand. How are you? Are you okay? Ethan Walker was busy checking on Mia. He showed no concern that I had just caught him cheating. Ethan Walker was already home when I arrived. The house was filled with smoke, clearly he had been smoking a lot. I felt a sudden surge of sarcasm. So, for the past year, you haven't been coming home because you weren't on business deals, but because you were keeping another woman outside. Ethan Walker frowned deeply. I suddenly found a dark humor in the situation and joked, "She looks quite young, still in school, perhaps? And she's willing to have your child." He was clearly home waiting for me to bring this up. But he said nothing. My temper flared. I casually threw the bag in my hand at him. "Say something." Ethan Walker was hit squarely. He no longer suppressed his emotions. He threw the bag to the ground and stood up abruptly. "Grace, I wanted to resolve this peacefully. Don't push your luck." His attitude left me utterly confused. "You cheating on me, that's giving me face?" Ethan Walker picked up the lighter from the coffee table and lit another smoke. The words "cheating on me" no longer pricked his cons. "Science. I've wanted to talk to you about this for a while, but I could never find the right time. You're discovering it this way is an opportunity. I want to resolve this peacefully. If you want this house, it's yours. You contributed to the company in its early stages, so I'll give you a reasonable share of the assets, but don't be too greedy." He was all business, as if our marriage was just another deal he was negotiating. I opened my mouth, but the sound that came out was hoarse. "How much money can you give me? I was 18 when I got together with you. You had no family, and I helped you build your business empire from scratch in this city. Now we're 30. Do you think these past 10+ years can be bought with money?" Ethan Walker looked at me with some impatience. "What, trying to move me with stories from the past?" "Yes, I appreciate you helping me with business deals in the past, and you attended many business dinners, but you know how those deals were made." A chill ran up my spine. "What do you mean?" Ethan Walker scoffed. "I'm being generous by giving you money. After all, you didn't just cheat on me once." For my head was spinning. My first reaction, of course, was anger. The next moment, I foolishly fell into the trap of self-justification. I began to think about what I had done that would make Ethan Walker say such a thing. When he first started his business, I was out running sales, often attending business dinners. But I always held my liquor well, except for one time when I blacked out. I heard that Mr. Peterson, a business partner, brought me home. Ethan Walker was also at the door to meet me that day. I remember him even making me lemonade and telling me not to drink so much. Later, Mr. Peterson and we became very close business partners. Was Ethan Walker talking about him? "Don't slander me, there was nothing between Mr. Peterson and me." Ethan Walker sneered, his gaze contemptuous. "If not Mr. Peterson, then what about Mr. Davies?" Art Davies was a dirty old man. One time when I was drinking, I was drugged. I was vaguely led to a hotel room. I regained consciousness as Mr. Davies was pulling off my clothes. I pleaded with him for a long time, but he slapped me across the face. His wine-scented mouth was close to my face. I don't know where I found the strength, but I pushed him away. And with lightning speed, I grabbed my phone and took several photos of him disheveled. I threatened him that if he dared to continue, I would not only accuse him of assault but also release the photos. In the end, he had no choice but to concede, reluctantly giving us that order. I had never told Ethan Walker about this. I just cried for a long time in the room after getting dressed. How could he have known? My hesitation confirmed Ethan Walker's suspicions. "What? Thinking about how your dirty secrets got out?" In Ethan Walker's eyes, there was malice, cruelty, and disdain for someone he considered insignificant. "Since you're so eager to know, I'll tell you. That drug, I was the one who drugged you." 5. I remembered. Ethan Walker and I were at that business dinner together. Ethan Walker advised me to drink less and even made me a cup of plain water. He apologized to others, saying he had to go to the office to handle some matters. Then he left me alone. I had been wondering where I had been drugged. But I had never suspected the water Ethan Walker gave me. For a moment, I was speechless. Beast, monster, scumbag. But none of these words were enough to vent the rage in my heart. My gaze began to unfocus. Yet Ethan Walker continued to verbally torture me. "What? Are you not convinced? You know perfectly well how those other orders were secured. Mr. Davies already had feelings for you, so what's wrong with me helping things along?" I leaned against the wall, struggling to breathe. "Ethan Walker, there was absolutely nothing between Mr. Davies and me." He reached out, stopping me from speaking. "Whether there was or wasn't, you know in your heart. If you were truly pure and innocent, how come you can't have children?" I laughed, a hint of sarcasm in my voice. "What does that have to do with anything?" A flicker of disgust crossed Ethan Walker's eyes. "Don't you know yourself? Excessive intimacy can affect your ability to have children. Even though you cheated on me, I didn't abandon you immediately. That's honorable enough, so don't bother me anymore. I looked at him, feeling like he was a complete stranger. Do you really want me to clear out immediately for your little girlfriend? When Mia was mentioned, a touch of warmth appeared in his eyes. Yes, Mia is still young, and she was a virgin when she got with me. Of course, I have to give her what she deserves. Immediately after, he picked up a paper from the coffee table. The paper must have been there for a while, but I hadn't noticed it. I clearly saw the words divorce papers boldly written on it. Suddenly, overwhelmed with rage, I coughed up blood and passed out. 6 Mia, I know you've been wronged. I'll handle this immediately. I've already arranged to suppress the online rumors. How about we make it official after we get married in a while? Of course, I won't let you be wronged. Just be good. Once we're married, we'll go to the Maldives, wherever you want. When I woke up, Ethan Walker was on the phone. His tone was different from how he spoke to me. Perhaps it was because Mia was genuinely young, and in Ethan Walker's mind, she was pure. So Ethan Walker was very attentive to her. The last time I heard him speak like that was when we first started dating. I had just bitterly thought of the past. Ethan Walker hung up the phone. Alright, you're awake, so stop pretending to be dead. He casually held the divorce papers, then handed them to me. As if he feared I was using my unconsciousness to escape signing. I took the pen and quickly signed my name. He seemed surprised by how readily I signed, and his eyebrow twitched. You're quite cooperative. He looked pleased, even deigning to say an extra word. The house is yours. I'll give you an additional 20 million. That's enough for you to live a very good life. Seeing him about to leave, I called out to him. Ethan Walker. My body was still weak. My voice was barely a whisper. He paused at the sound of my voice. What is it? His face showed impatience. Do you remember when we went to the hospital for fertility tests? What are you going to say now? I suddenly smiled. There was no pain of betrayal left in my heart. Only the joy of revealing a significant secret. I was the one who picked up the results. I lied to you. Actually, you're infertile. 7 Anger flared across Ethan Walker's face. He strode towards me, grabbing my neck and pinning me against the headboard. Try saying that again. Just because you're a barren hag, you think everyone else is the same? I couldn't breathe, my throat felt like it was closing up. But seeing Ethan Walker's furious expression, I still managed to let out a few struggling laughs. I didn't tell you. To protect your pride. Now, I wish you enjoy being a cuckold, and be happy with it. He squeezed my neck, then twisted it to the side. I fell onto the bed. Bitch. You think Mia is like you? Don't you think I know if she's pure or not? He adjusted his shirt collar, as if he was afraid his recent brutal actions towards me might affect his appearance. Free from his grip, I lay on the bed, cackling. Why would I lie to you? Just go to the hospital and get tested, couldn't you? After all we've been through as a couple, I'm kindly advising you, and you're still being so unreasonable. Ethan Walker completely disbelieved my words. Why do I need a test? The baby in Mia's belly is the best proof. He seemed to find it unlucky, turned his head, and spat. There's no point in talking more with a lunatic like you. Anyway, you'll never have an heir of your own in this life. After saying that, Ethan Walker seemed to think he had won. He walked away quickly, and my smile slowly stiffened. Resentment and satisfaction intertwined in my heart. I hadn't lied to Ethan Walker. He truly was infertile. Ethan Walker and I had always wanted a child. We stopped using contraception after the company got on track, but I just couldn't get pregnant. We went to the hospital for tests. Ethan Walker didn't have time on the day the medical report was ready, so I went to pick it up. The moment I saw Ethan Walker's medical report, my world fell apart. He was an orphan. Since childhood, he had envied other classmates who had their own families. Even when we were dating, he spoke with great emotion about how much he envied other bustling families. He said that if he ever got married, he would definitely have several children. Back then, I playfully hit him and said, "Who's going to have them for you?" I never imagined Ethan Walker didn't have that ability at all, so I kept it a secret. I tore up the medical report and threw it in the trash can. Ethan Walker was already insecure due to his family background. I couldn't let him have another source of insecurity. I returned to the hospital and had an IUD inserted. I foolishly believed that if I also lacked fertility, I would understand him better. It was true, I had never looked down on Ethan Walker because of fertility issues, but it led him to harbor many baseless suspicions about me. In this marriage, I had a clear conscience. As for Ethan Walker, I had no idea how he managed to get someone else pregnant. I had a feeling a new storm was brewing, but I wasn't going to get involved anymore. 9. Chloe came to my house to stay with me after she heard about our divorce. She cooked soup for me and took care of me. At first, she was indignant on my behalf, saying she would expose those two cheaters. It wasn't until I told her Ethan Walker's secret that she calmed down. After signing the papers, Ethan Walker quickly bought another house and moved in with Mia. There was still a month until the divorce was finalized. Clearly, he couldn't wait. After I recovered, I went to the hospital and had my IUD removed. Doing such a foolish thing for Ethan Walker in the past was actually very bad for my health. Now, I wasn't going to pay the price for him anymore. The doctor asked me, "Are you planning to have children?" I just gave a bitter smile and didn't speak. The surgery went smoothly, but I could still feel a faint, persistent pain. It felt like a piece of my heart had been forcibly carved out. My forehead was covered in cold sweat. As I left the gynecology department, I happened to see Ethan Walker helping Mia into the hospital for a prenatal checkup. I coldly followed them. The doctor was discussing Mia's condition. "The baby is healthy. And you are?" The doctor seemed a bit surprised. "I am the baby's father." Ethan Walker introduced himself proudly. The doctor suddenly realized, "Oh, so you're the father." I thought the person who usually accompanies Mia to her appointments was someone else. Mia's face stiffened at that remark. Ethan Walker helped Mia walk outside. "Mia, didn't you say you have no relatives in this city? Who came with you?" Ethan Walker's tone was somewhat suspicious. The panic on Mia's face was obvious to me. The next moment, Ethan Walker snapped out of his suspicion, because he saw me. 10. Grace, what are you doing here? When he saw me, he could no longer hide the bitterness in his expression. "What? After I told you you're a barren hag last time, did you specifically come to the hospital for treatment?" What he said was harsh. But my mind remained completely unaffected. Although I was weak, I still gathered all my strength to mock him. "Why would I need treatment? I came specifically to see you enjoy being a cuckold." This time, with Mia nearby, Ethan Walker couldn't just lose his temper. "Show some respect." I feigned innocence. "I am being respectful. Didn't the doctor herself say someone else accompanies her to every prenatal checkup? Why don't you ask who that person is?" Mia looked at me, and the panic that flashed across her face couldn't be faked. I was even more certain of my suspicions. "I'm wishing you well. Why aren't you grateful?" Mia avoided my gaze, urgently tugging at Ethan Walker's arm, trying to pull him away. "Honey, let's go. Don't mind this lunatic." But Ethan Walker didn't seem to get her signal to leave. He held Mia's arm. "Mia, don't be scared. With me here, no one can slander you." He took a few steps towards me, looking at me with an intimidating presence. "Apologize to Mia." I scoffed. "What? Do you think you can still tell me what to do? This is a hospital. Are you going to try and lay hands on me here?" I glanced sideways at Mia. Those with a guilty conscience always look particularly uneasy, but she found Ethan Walker to be her scapegoat. You could say she picked well. She found the person in the world who most desperately wanted his own child. 11. As he left, Ethan Walker threatened me. "After the baby is born, I'll make you kneel and apologize." I smiled ambiguously as I walked away. He wanted to prove the child was his. That would probably never happen. Mia was due soon. Ethan Walker took meticulous care of her. He was photographed by reporters multiple times. On the day Mia went into labor, the hospital was swarming with reporters. Ethan Walker's face was full of anxiety, but he couldn't hide his joy. "Reporters, please, don't stay here. It's not a good look." A few reporters mentioned him abandoning his faithful wife. But with good news on the horizon, Ethan Walker didn't bother to argue. Other reporters asked, "Mr. Walker, have you thought about the baby's gender?" A shy smile even appeared on his face. "Boy or girl, it doesn't matter, as long as the baby is healthy." The reporters offered a few compliments. Suddenly, someone ran from a distance and whispered something into Ethan Walker's ear. Ethan Walker's expression changed, and he rushed towards the hospital room. The reporters sensed something was wrong and quickly followed. At the hospital room door, a man was shouting, "My girlfriend is giving birth in there. Why can't I wait here?" This scene was broadcast live through the reporters' cameras. The man's face was filled with fury. "Ethan Walker, that's you, isn't it?" In front of everyone, he grabbed Ethan Walker's collar. "You've been sleeping with my girlfriend for so long. And you want my girlfriend's child to call you dad?" Ethan Walker's assistant quickly stepped forward to intervene. "Don't talk nonsense, sir. What kind of person is Mr. Walker? How could he resort to such a low trick?" The man wouldn't back down. "If you don't believe me, let's get a DNA test after the baby is born." Ethan Walker's pupils suddenly constricted. Perhaps he remembered my words. 12 Originally, the news of a newborn's arrival was a joyous occasion, but with Mia's boyfriend causing such a scene, the news instantly turned into a joke. Not only did Ethan Walker not have a child, but he was also publicly humiliated. This matter was eventually meticulously uncovered by the media. Mia herself was a student at an ordinary university. She met Ethan Walker during a breakup with her boyfriend. Ethan Walker mistakenly thought her period was proof that she was a virgin, so he took responsibility for her. Soon, Mia and her boyfriend got back together, but she was simultaneously still involved with Ethan Walker. Her boyfriend knew and didn't mind, letting her continue the arrangement. The two planned to extort a large sum of money from Ethan Walker. Unexpectedly, Ethan Walker really fell for it so easily. This incident significantly impacted Ethan Walker's company. I heard Ethan Walker had to pay a hefty sum to appease the greed of those two. It was then that Ethan Walker realized everything I had said was true. So he had another fertility test done. This time, he picked up the medical report himself. Looking at the reply stating his infertility, he sat on a bench at the hospital, silently smoking a cigarette. He suddenly remembered my last visit to the hospital. So he called his assistant, "Help me find out why Grace came to the hospital last time." 13 Ethan Walker was eager to divorce me back then. After forcing me to sign, he hastily transferred the promised $20 million to my account, as if he feared I might ask for more later. I recuperated for a while, then opened a bakery in a busy downtown area. Work helped me forget many worries. Every time I closed the rolling door late at night, I felt happy smelling the sweet scent from the shop. I closed up as usual. Just as I pulled down the rolling door, I noticed an unusual gaze. I followed the gaze. The rain was a fine mist. A man in a black suit held a black umbrella, tilted to cover most of his face. But I recognized him instantly. I pretended not to see him and turned to walk away. The man grew anxious and hurried after me. "Grace." He reached out and grabbed me, the tenderness in his voice making me sick. "Let go." Ethan Walker's hand was like an unmoving mountain. His persistence now contrasted sharply with how quickly he'd rushed me away before. I sneered, "What? Didn't you say you'd make me kneel and apologize after the baby was born? Are you here now to make me kneel?" "Grace." "Oh, I forgot. Mr. Walker's scandals were aired on TV for days. I heard he was blackmailed by a couple, right?" Faced with my sarcasm, he could no longer stand tall and refute me. His voice was choked with sobs. "Grace, I know what you did at the hospital. I'm sorry, I was such a horrible person." With that, he dropped to his knees. Water splashed up from the ground. I was startled. Even though there weren't many people on the street right now, this many was still quite eerie. "What are you doing? Begging for forgiveness? I'll just consider that incident something done for a dog. Don't take it to heart." Just as I was about to walk away, he grabbed my leg. "Grace, I've filed to withdraw the divorce papers. Can we not get divorced?" I kicked him away with brute force. "No. Absolutely not." 14 From that day on, Ethan Walker would constantly appear outside my bakery. Sometimes it was to place a large order, claiming it was for employee benefits. Other times, he'd shamelessly say he was waiting for me to get off work. Of course, I couldn't let him know my current address. Each time, I would curse and kick him, telling him to leave. Until one day, it seemed he had consulted some questionable love guru online. He actually set up a pile of heart-shaped candles outside my bakery. He stood in the middle of the candles, holding a bouquet of roses. I looked at him, feeling a pang of melancholy. My mind went back to when I was 18. He was very poor back then. He paid for his own tuition. When he didn't have classes, his schedule was packed with part-time jobs. To confess his feelings, he bought 9 roses at a flower shop that was about to close. He set up candles all over the ground below our dorm building. He stood in the middle. Because he was poor, he only dared to shout my name once, loudly. He said if I didn't come out after the first call, he would immediately pack his things and run. But I heard the very first call. I peeked out from the dorm. The moment I saw it, I understood what he was trying to do. I covered my mouth. I ran downstairs, both surprised and delighted. And just like that, we were together. Now, his financial situation had improved. The bouquet of roses he held was heavy. The petals were plump. He no longer needed to wait until the flower shop closed for a discount. It seemed better, on the surface. But the sincerity it carried had diminished. He used the same trick, but time couldn't be turned back. I would have accepted his pure sincerity when he was 18. But the 30-year-old him had long lost his sincerity. Why bother put ing on this act? People around, not understanding the situation, stopped and started to egg him on. I just looked at him with indifference. Grace, please forgive me? 15 I lifted my leg, ready to leave. But Ethan Walker blocked my path. Grace, I misunderstood about the past. I'm sorry. I couldn't take it anymore. Ethan Walker, stop bothering me. It's really annoying, truly. After I called his name, the people around us suddenly reacted. Ethan Walker? The chairman of Jingyuan Group? Huh? What's this then? His former wife? How awful. I thought it was a confession of love. Turns out he's begging for forgiveness. How disgusting. Exactly. His mistress got pregnant, didn't she? He probably thought he was getting a healthy baby boy, but it wasn't even his. Ha ha ha, what a real mess. Some of the people around dispersed. But some still started recording videos. Ethan Walker was embarrassed by their words. Grace, can we find somewhere to talk? I looked at his hopeful eyes. I replied without a trace of emotion, no. His eyes instantly dulled. Just for a moment. I shook my head. Ethan Walker, do you think I can be with you? Do you think our problem is just that you cheated? Ethan Walker's mouth opened slightly, as if I had hit a nerve. He always turned a blind eye to the harm he inflicted on others, and on me. Have you forgotten that you tried to put me in someone else's bed? My voice was low. Because, after all, it was a shameful thing. Ethan Walker heard this, he finally remembered. His voice became a stutter. I said that in anger back then. I knew you couldn't be. Seeing his sanctimonious act just made me furious. Said in anger? I couldn't tell. Ethan Walker indeed stopped talking. Only his eyes were tinged with red. I'm sorry, I know I caused you a lot of pain. If you know that, then stop bothering me. 16 This video was uploaded online. Many netizens learned about me, the original wife, for the first time. So, all at once, the story of Ethan Walker's and my past love was dug up. The original wife and Ethan Walker were college classmates. Ethan Walker was an orphan, but the original wife didn't mind and got together with him in college. According to their classmates, to keep Ethan Walker from feeling insecure, she always ate the cheapest meals with him and didn't ask for gifts on Valentine's Day. When they graduated, she stayed in this city for Ethan Walker, even though her parents were very unhappy. After graduation, Ethan Walker started a company, and the original wife also worked in sales for the company. Many people who collaborated with her said she was incredibly hardworking and could hold her liquor very well. Recently, reporters obtained the original wife's medical records from the hospital. It turns out she had an IUD inserted for Ethan Walker, and he apparently didn't even know. Blinded by love is truly terrifying. What was surprising was this. Mia, who was with Ethan Walker, also posted a statement online on my behalf. What happened back then was my fault. I know I caused harm to the original wife, so I want to say a few words here to support her. Ethan Walker is a very self-centered and insecure person. He told me he suspected the original wife was having affairs with people from other companies when she was out running sales, so he always had this feeling of imbalance. He even said he'd send the original wife to someone else's bed to secure a difficult order. I don't know what ultimately happened, but when I heard it at the time, I was terrified. I never imagined Mia would reveal such unspeakable things. These comments once again impacted Ethan Walker's company. Netizens sympathized with me, wishing me well in my new life online. But the good news was, our 1-month cooling-off period was over. Ethan Walker agreed to go finalize the divorce. 17 The day we went to finalize the divorce was a beautiful, clear day. Finalizing the divorce was a quick process. Ethan Walker's cheeks were sunken. During this time, through online comments, he also realized that what he had done to me was unforgivable. He no longer insisted on my forgiveness. He walked in front of me as we exited. Someone must have posted online that we were finalizing our divorce today. When we stepped outside, a massive crowd had already gathered. Ethan Walker consciously shielded me. But he instantly understood that, in front of this crowd, he was the one who should be more aware of danger. The next moment, rotten vegetables and eggs were hurled at him. Scumbag. Betrayer. Go to hell. These words swarmed around him. Ethan Walker just stood there. He stood for a long time, as if intentionally allowing the crowd to vent their anger. I quietly moved away from him, afraid that stench would get on me. The public's indignation couldn't be appeased instantly. If Ethan Walker hadn't brought bodyguards, we might not have been able to leave. He said he would see me off. But the stench on him bothered me immensely. So he didn't insist, only asked if I would have dinner with him. My first instinct was to refuse. But this time I saw the earnestness in his eyes. Let's just call it a farewell meal. That's what I thought, and so I set a time with him. 18. He chose a Western restaurant near our school. It wasn't very high-end, but it was the restaurant where we had our first date. I glanced at it, feeling he was about to play his old tricks again. Before getting into his car, I assumed he'd chat with me the whole way. But he was as silent as if his vocal cords had been cut. I looked at him, surprised. Soothing music played in the car. Before I knew it, we arrived at the restaurant entrance. The head waiter had changed, and the servers had gone through several rotations. The decor was also vastly different from before. The only thing that remained the same was that most of the customers were students. They were here, experiencing their most innocent love, unaware of how cruel their future might be. I scoffed at him. What, you're not even willing to treat me to a decent meal for our farewell? Very typical of your stingy nature. He wasn't annoyed. He just started gazing at me intently. Grace, do you think I want to get back together with you? I shook my head. Either way, you're up to no good. Ethan Walker's eye sockets were sunken, making his eyes look even deeper. I won't repeat those old platitudes. Everyone online said I was your misfortune, and I've thought about it. Maybe it's true. Without me, you probably would have been living well back home. I just hope you'll be well from now on. He spoke in a very soft voice, as if he was making final arrangements. I sneered. If you're going to die, just die already. Why are you looking so grim here? Who are you showing it to? Ethan Walker looked away, forlorn. I'm sorry. What I hate most is I'm sorry. A server approached. The dish served was the deluxe supreme steak we couldn't afford years ago. I cut a piece and, under Ethan Walker's expectant gaze, put the steak in my mouth. It doesn't taste good. I didn't say the latter half of the sentence. It wasn't as good as the ordinary steak we had years ago. But he didn't need to hear that sentence anyway. When you're in love, even the simplest things bring joy. What's past is past. 19. That day, Ethan Walker dropped me off at the bakery. As I got out of the car, Ethan Walker said, Grace, I won't bother you again. I felt something was off. But I didn't think much of it. The next day, I saw the news of Ethan Walker's death on the headlines. He had been drinking. He returned to our school. On a bench by University Lake, he was lost in thought. Surveillance footage showed him stumbling into the lake, as if trying to pick something up. On the shore, someone found a ring lying there. Based on this, a story of heartbreak became clear. He was holding the ring, reminiscing about his marriage, when suddenly the ring dropped. He tried to pick it up but lost his balance and fell into the lake. Chloe sent me good news. She said he got what he deserved, that karma truly catches up quickly with those who betray sincere hearts. But some people also thought he might have committed suicide. Because he had, at some point, made a will transferring his shares to me. And the alcohol he drank wasn't high proof. How could he have been so dizzy? Anyway, a genius who built his business empire from scratch suddenly fell. Regardless of what kind of person this genius was in life, netizens felt some regret. I looked at the news, feeling a slight stir of emotion in my heart. The year we got married, his company wasn't doing very well. He spent 2,000 yuan to buy me a ring. It had no diamond, but I happily wore it every day. Later, I got more expensive rings. I still habitually wore that ring. After the divorce, I locked this ring in my drawer. I didn't want to recall that relationship. Chloe called me, asking if I thought he committed suicide or if it was an accident. I vaguely dodged the question. Actually, I knew he committed suicide. Because I saw the message I received from him late last night. My dearest Grace, only death can sever my heart's desire to be close to you. He probably deleted it after sending, so no one knew he sent me a message. This way, no one would ever connect him and me again. In time, people would forget Ethan Walker. And I would get better and better.